FADA today has released auto retail sales data for the complete year as well as for the last quarter. Could you walk us through how different segments, including passenger and commercial vehicles, have performed on an year-on-year basis as well as in the last quarter? And what have been the factors influencing sales?
I'll walk you through what happened last March and also what happened last year. Last March, there was nearly a 26% growth overall in the auto retail. This would include two-wheelers, passenger vehicle, tractors, commercial vehicles, and three-wheelers. The two-wheelers grew at about 28.7%. We had a great growth even in passenger vehicles at nearly 21.5%. Commercial vehicles at 15%. Three-wheelers also grew at about 10.5%, and tractors at about nearly 11%. So for the month of March, I think the growth has been good. Not only it has been good, but also it has proven that it's been resilient from September onwards. 7 months of continuous growth, plus 20% growth. I think that's fantastic. We also had one of the best Marches ever. When you go on to the yearly, it's even more interesting because the first 5 months of last financial year was a little bit tepid and damp in terms of performances, but post GST 2.0, the market really went up. When you look at the overall market, it's nearly 13.3% growth. When you look at the two-wheeler segment alone, it crossed 2 crores at 2.14, growing at 13.5%. Passenger vehicles nearly reached 50 lakh mark by doing a 47 lakh unit at 13% growth. Tractors were again 10.5, crossed 10.5 lakhs at nearly 19% growth. Commercial vehicles, the growth was at about 11.74, and they also crossed about 10.6 lakh vehicles. So as a whole industry, we more or less hit 3 crores. We were just about 4 lakhs short of it. So there's fantastic growth. There's a lot of resilience also in the market because last month we had the West Asia crisis going on, but still the market kept growing. So we're quite positive about the year to come. Of course, in the near short term, we have some issues which might peter down from the oil impact. But otherwise, I think structurally the economy is doing well. Customers are walking in for more vehicles. I think we are on a very good high. The rural demand has been driving the market for the last few years, and it continues to do so, where urban demand is close, but not as close. Probably in terms of growth rate from last year, it is narrowed down. But the rural demand continues to help the industry. The Bharat has really been the engine behind the growth. Harvests have been good. Crops have received very good minimum prices. And all these things have really helped the rural economy. And even the credit availability is strong. Today, the rural customer not only wants a product which meets the needs, but also aspirational products. That has also helped in terms of premiumization of the rural market also to an extent. But the general economy itself is turning premium, both in the two-wheeler and the four-wheeler space. Today, with the introduction of ACs in trucks, even that is slowly becoming more premium. So I think the premiumization of the industry is there to stay. And we are also seeing a lot of demand coming from the rural markets for the aforesaid reasons. I think it's too small a conflict and too short a time for a holistic change to come into the mindset of the customer. So if it doesn't get worse, we're going to be coming back to normal. But having said that, when you look at our last year figures for CNG, LPG, EVs, and hybrids, it is more than 36%. So more than 1/3 of the economy, the PV economy, has completely shifted to these alternative fuels. And when you look at it even over the years, diesel has somehow remained constant at about 18% over the last few years. But petrol has shrunk by 4%. So that 4% has directly gone to the alternative fuels. We see that this continue to happen. Alternative fuels would be taking more precedence, and they'll also be having more variants because more and more car companies are actually coming out with these variants, and that will help. When you look at three-wheelers, EVs have pretty much dominated over the last few years. It is more than 60% penetration. Two-wheelers, we have seen about from 7%, it has climbed to nearly 9% last month. So I think the next step would be that three-wheelers have already done it. Two-wheelers will soon shift over in the next 5-6 years to EV dominated play. And you'll also have passenger vehicles also shifting over with alternative fuels being part of the ecosystem. And if supply disruptions come in, there will be vehicles. It's not that there are going to be zero vehicles to be sold. There will be vehicles, but the vehicles may not be available for the exacting choice of the customer. So whatever I've heard is this is going to end soon. If it doesn't end, if it keeps prolonging beyond this month, supply disruptions would definitely be there.